It was an ordinary morning in the small town of Pedra Branca, a place where newsworthy events almost never happen. The local police station, led by the seasoned Chief Renato, was used to dealing with nothing more than bar fights, the occasional petty theft, and at most, a missing head of cattle. But on that Tuesday, everything was about to change. A mailman dropped off a heavy cardboard box at the station's front desk. There was no return address, no clue as to who had sent it. The label, scribbled by hand in shaky letters, carried only 3 words: for the police. The station's clerk, Luciana, felt uneasy the moment she saw it and quickly called for Chief Renato. Renato gathered 2 of his investigators, Sergeant Mauro, known for his cynical, dismissive attitude, and Agent Fábio, the youngest on the team, always curious and a little too eager. With nervous chuckles and half-hearted jokes about gifts from admirers, they set the box down in the middle of the room and opened it. Inside, they found a human-shaped mask, stained with dark patches of dried blood. Beside it lay an old cassette tape, unmarked and worn. The atmosphere, light just moments before, fell into sudden silence. Mauro forced a laugh, suggesting it had to be some kind of prank. But Chief Renato's expression hardened. This didn't feel like a joke. Who would send something like this? And why? What none of them knew was that the moment they pressed play on that tape, the true nightmare of the Pedra Branca police station was about to begin. Chief Renato held the cassette tape as if it was something contaminated. The silence in the room was suffocating. Still, he slid it into the station's old tape recorder. A burst of static cut through the air, followed by a distorted, metallic laugh, as if someone were mocking them from the other side of time. Luciana crossed her arms tightly against her chest, her body tense. "This isn't right, Chief," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Sergeant Mauro forced a laugh, trying to cut through the tension. "Come on. It's probably just some kid looking for attention." But his eyes betrayed what his words tried to hide. Fear. The most shaken was Fábio. He couldn't take his eyes off the blood-stained mask. His face was rigid, his breathing quick. Finally, he burst out, "What if it's a warning? What if it's someone we locked up? They know where we work. They know who we are." Renato, though trying to hold his composure, felt a chill run down the back of his neck. The suffocating sense of being watched pressed in on him. At that moment, the laughter on the tape stopped. Silence. Then, a low, dragging voice emerged. "The next one has already been chosen." They all looked at one another. The words seemed to echo against the walls of the station. Who would be next? The air grew heavier. Suspicion began to creep in, each of them silently questioning the other. Fear mixing with anger and insecurity. Deep down, one certainty was taking shape. The box wasn't just a threat. It was a game. The station room seemed to grow smaller by the second. The tape recorder still hissed, as if something unseen was trapped inside it. Chief Renato, trying to keep the collective panic under control, ordered the tape shut off and the evidence sealed. But it was already too late. That same night, Sergeant Mauro never made it home. His car was found just a few miles from the station, pulled over on the shoulder with the engine still running. In the passenger seat lay a mask identical to the one from the box. There was no sign of his body. The joking and skepticism vanished for good. Now, everyone in the station knew the threat was real. But who could be behind it? Luciana, trembling, accused the chief of hiding information. Fábio, desperate, insisted that someone inside their own team was involved. The arguments escalated until in the middle of the chaos, a new package arrived. Small, wrapped in newspaper, addressed directly to Fábio. Inside was a printed photograph. It was him, sitting at his desk, taken from inside the station itself. Scrawled beneath in red ink were the words, "The next one has already been chosen." The young agent let the photo slip from his hands. Renato stared into the void, realizing the enemy wasn't just outside. Someone knew them from within. Every move, every weakness. And then came the most disturbing detail. In the corner of the photo, reflected in the window glass, there was a face. It wasn't Mauro. It wasn't Luciana. It wasn't Fábio. It was Chief Renato himself, smiling, holding a mask, absolute silence. The question that lingered was inevitable. Who was really in control of this game?